Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Kairaba Avenue and Brusubi Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980 8483 340 9400 or 635 9906.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Esteemed viewers, thank you once again for your time. We are back again with another episode of daily COVID-19 update. Inshallah, today our topic is why COVID-19 is killing more black and other ethnic minorities than their Caucasian counterparts. That's the topic of our discussion today. But as usual, we will start with the stats of COVID-19. As you are all aware, COVID-19 started in China in December 2019. And so far, 3,981,000 people are infected, 493 are infected with COVID-19, and 274,415 dead so far, and 1,372,310 recovered so far. And right now, there are 2,234,768 people are currently living with COVID-19. And out of that 2,286,236, 98% of the active cases are in mild conditions. Mild conditions are the ones who are tested positive, but some of them are not even showing any sign of the illness. Okay, those who are showing sign of illness, it's about headache, temperature, that is fever, and persistent cough. And some will lose their sense of smell and taste. And there are occasions people will have diarrhea. And recently also what they call COVID-19 toe is also added to the symptoms. That is, there is a blister on your toes, especially the big toe, which if you scratch it, it will develop into an open wound. Okay, right now I'm going to give you the top 10 most affected countries in the world and the numbers they registered past 24 hours. USA recorded 15,689 new infections past 24 hours, and 955 dead. Spain recorded 3,262 new cases and 229 dead. Italy recorded 1,327 new cases and 243 dead. UK recorded 4,649 new cases and 626 dead. Russia, for the fifth day or the sixth day running, they recorded more than 10,000 new cases per day. So today they recorded 10,699 new cases and 98 dead. France have recorded 243 dead. No, their new numbers for the past 24 hours positive is not yet in. Germany recorded 471 new cases and 12 dead. Brazil recorded 4,330 new cases and 412 dead. Turkey recorded 1,848 new cases and 48 dead. Iran recorded 1,556 new cases and 55 dead. China recorded only one case. Now India is coming up 3,291 new cases and 96 dead. So right now I'm going to read to you the countries that are very, very close to Gambia. If they are not safe, we are not safe. If nobody is safe, if everybody, if these countries are not safe, we are not safe. Senegal, we have been surrounded by Senegal on both sides. When you look at the geography of Gambia, also is very, very close to Guinea-Conakry, is very close to Ivory Coast, is very close to Mali, Bissau, and Sierra Leone, and Burkina Faso as well. So far, Senegal recorded 1,571 cases. Guinea-Conakry now it's on its own in West Africa. It's 1,927 cases so far. And Ivory Coast recorded 1,551, Mali 650. Guinea-Bissau also have the biggest jump past 24 hours. There are now 564 cases. And Sierra Leone recorded 257, and past 24 hours they recorded 26 new cases. Burkina Faso 336, and the Gambia is still at 18, and people are still resisting the social distancing, which is very, very worrying. So I'm going to go to my main topic today, which is why COVID-19 is killing more Black people or other minority groups like the Asians, or if you are in the US, the Hispanics. Well, if you have been following the news media recently, in the earlier this week, British Deputy Chief Medical Officer, which is Jonathan Bantam, said at the news conference that studying disease across ethnic groups was complicated by a number of factors, which include age, underlying medical conditions, and deprivation, and also geography. But that the government was taking the issue seriously, and you have worked out that I am from the ethnic minority groups. You say that Dan Richards. Yeah, that is somebody, even though he's a minority group, but he's serving mainly white dominated government. And it's like somebody who is on a defensive already, yeah, even before all the facts are known. Okay, so what the UK government, like the US and also in France, where blacks tend to be mainly affected by this, was affected by this virus than any other ethnic groups. They all promise, big measures. So this trend is not only in the UK or America, but France and also in other European countries. So the trends are not unique to Britain. And if you go to Paris, a place called Paris Saint-Denis, blacks are mainly dying. If you go to Sweden, there is a borough called Rinkeby. It's mainly dominated by these Somali immigrants and other blacks immigrants. That place also disproportionately blacks have been dying, In England, it's almost 4 times, more black people are dying than other ethnic groups. And if you also look at the figures for number of healthcare officers who got infected and end up dying in the NHS in the UK, 90%, over 90 of them, sorry about that, is mainly from the black community. You know. So again, in America, the Washington Post investigation last month also found that black Americans are dying at a disproportionate rate than that of majority black countries in the United States have nearly 6 times the rate of death as majority white countries. Latinos also have been disproportionately hardly hit. Okay, in Britain, the government has agreed to investigate the ethnic disparities, which are particularly striking, among healthcare workers. And more than 90% of the doctors who have died of COVID-19 in the country are from BAME communities, black communities. That is blacks and Asians and other minority groups. We'll give you the reason that we know so far. There might be other underlying issues, but there are obvious reasons why this is happening. And those reasons, that's why Africans should take particular care to make sure that these virus didn't appear in our midst, like we are seeing in England. So coronavirus, they said, is not a great equalizer. By that what they mean is, it's not killing. The killing rate of corona is not uniform among these different ethnic groups. So, and new data out of Britain underscore how certain ethnic groups are more at risk. Blacks are 4 times as likely to die of COVID-19 as whites, and according to the Office for National Statistics. This, however, is not a surprise to many in these communities whose members are more vulnerable to the virus because of their health and economic disadvantages, and perhaps other reasons yet to be isolated. You know, Regions of Bangladeshi, Pakistani, and mixed ethnic groups also have statistically higher rates of coronavirus death than Caucasians, according to one report. So, because of this, not long ago, British black parliamentarian David Lammy tweeted that the opposition Labour Party's point passing on justice that it is urgent because of this disproportionality are investigated. Recent week, okay. So the mayor of London, who also happened to be from a minority group, I think it's of Pakistani origin, the parents are from Pakistan. Mayor Sadiq Khan said on Thursday that minorities in the British capital are more likely to work in low-paid jobs, which is true. These are some of the reasons. This Lord Mayor of London is fronting why blacks are dying. He's saying they are more likely to work in low-paid jobs, live in overcrowded accommodations and suffer from underlying health conditions. And this is clearly putting them at greater risk for coronavirus. Yeah, what is happening is that blacks are more likely to work in low-paid jobs like the McDonald's and other restaurants. And as a result of that, their earning power is low. They are more likely to travel through the public transport, whereby you have more chances of coming in contact with somebody who is infected. And also, if you go to these inner cities, communities, there is an issue of accommodation. There tend to be more people sharing, the same accommodation in black or Asian communities than in white affluent communities. So this also could be reason. Like if one is infected, that means the entire household more likely to be infected because they cannot observe social distancing in their own homes. And we know how crowded the tube could be in London, which is the epicenter of this infection in London, and also in Paris, and also in New York and other major cities in America. So, and blacks also are more likely to go to work during those lockdowns because of the kind of jobs they do. They have to go out and work. They are more unlikely to work from home because if you work in a bank or you work in IT, you can easily sit home and work from home. So that will reduce your chances from coming in contact with people who are infected. So these are some of the conditions. And also the other conditions are, because of the kind of work they have to do. These are day jobs with 0 hours contracts that you have to be at work. So blacks are more likely to adjourn or forgo visiting their doctors, than their white counterparts, who are in more secure jobs. For example, if they feel unwell, once they can move around, they're more likely to go to work than sit at home, and go and see their doctor. So these are other conditions. Okay, according to one report, when adjusted for age, black males are 4.2 times as likely to die of COVID-19 as white males. And black females are not don't fare well better anyway. Well, they even fare worse because when you consider black females, they are more than 4.3 times as likely as their white female counterparts. These are striking numbers. So when factor in variables such as demographics, where they stay, and self-reported health issues, that like I mentioned in my previous post, you know, the Statistics Agency found that black male and female were 1.93 times as likely to die of COVID-19. And similarly, males of Bangladesh and Pakistan ethnicity were 1.8 times as likely, and females of Bangladesh and Pakistani were 1.6 times as likely. So the results show that the difference between ethnic groups, COVID-19 mortality is partly as a result of socioeconomic disadvantages I mentioned earlier and other circumstances. But the remaining part of the difference is not yet been explained. This will come out later, could be genetics, could be. But the problem is the comorbidities, the kind of illness, what can make one susceptible or easily contract or being killed by COVID-19. That's what we call comorbidities. When you have an infection, but there is an underlying condition. This underlying condition, like diabetes, like hypertension, like sickle cell anemia, like heart condition, these are endemic in black communities. So if they got infected, they are more likely to die of infection. So these are all comorbidities that are endemic in black inner city communities. And why these illnesses are more prevalent in black communities? Because again, it comes down to socioeconomic status. They tend to be poor, they tend to be in low paid jobs. And as a result, they eat conveniently. They are more likely to go to McDonald's and munch on fast foods. These can make you fat, it can damage your health, and it can make you more susceptible to diabetes. And once you have diabetes, heart condition, or sickle cell, these can affect um, your immune system. So once your immune system is compromised, if you get any kind of viral or bacterial infection or fungal infection, it tends to be more severe. So these are the medical explanation to why more black people are dying than their white counterparts. So actions to reduce these inequalities include ensuring that an adequate income for everyone so that low paid and 0 hours contract workers can afford to follow social distancing recommendations, and reducing occupational risks as ensuring adequate PPE, personal protective equipment, and reducing barriers to accessing healthcare and providing uh, culturally and linguistically appropriate public health communications. So these are big challenges for Western democracies, because you cannot be running country when large section of your community, like if you went to London, 40% of London population is mainly from brown, is black and brown origins. So if these people are dying in that number, then it's going to affect the country one way or the other. Because as you said, these are the kind of work they do, even though they are not highly paid. which are very few security, but they are very, very important jobs. So you wouldn't want people to start running away from those kind of jobs. Um, is going to be disaster. So coronavirus and all that. So these are the issues, and now why these numbers are significant for Africa. We are talking about Western countries here. These are well-developed democracies. They have their healthcare systems, you know, which can look after a large chunk of the populations. Um, but it's not the case in Africa. So if blacks are dying in that number like that in more developed with better medical facilities. So in our own setting, the medical setups is really, really poor, and also the organization and the will from our governments is almost lacking. So that's why our best chance, Africans, our best chance is to make sure this virus, the chain of transmission is curtailed, is cut. And that can only be done by through strict social distancing measures. And unfortunately, that's not the situation in the Gambia. I have my own self, I have family members who still even didn't believe in the existence of this virus. It's ridiculous, but it's a common belief among Gambians. Some people even believe this is for non-believers. I don't know who been speaking to Almighty Allah. So that's the situation. But what you and I can do, we continue to talk like I'm doing now to try to sensitize, to educate the general public that this virus actually don't know any ethnicity, it doesn't know any race, it doesn't know any age, um, it doesn't know any country. So Gambia is safe because Senegal is giving us that protections. But on daily basis, those line of protection is being breached. Like we go to Gunjur almost on daily basis, Senegalese fishermen are coming into Gambia to sell their cash to the Chinese fish manufacturers. Even though the fisheries ministry representative at Gunjur Beach is denying this, but this is a fact. This is an open secret. This is the situation. And if you listen to the Chinese own explanation, that they contracted different fishing boats which go on alternate days to supply them with fish, which is again is a blatant lie. They're trying to hoodwink the parliamentary select committee so that they can continue to operate as they like. So guys, also because right now the statistics are out there, that again busts the myth or the misconception initially when this pandemic initially started. There was a rumor circulating that black people are actually more resistant to this virus than other ethnic groups because of our genes. So that is out of the window now. So that's why we should stop spreading those kind of rumors, because that I'm not saying that's why more black people are dying, but they are more likely to believe those kind of rumors also. This another explanation to this. And also black people, if you are in London or in England, is black people are mainly now going to the church. Hardly you see white people going to church now in the Western world. So, and they are more likely to believe what their pastors tell them. you know, these people, you can come to church, they can tell you if they touch you, well, if you give this, you are resistant to this virus. So these can adversely affect attitudes, towards people seeking medical attention. So these are all possibilities. And also, if you go to our own communities, these kind of beliefs are very endemic. Like if you say this in a day, you won't be affected at all. Or there's this small, funny Arabic diagram that if you look at it, it makes you resistant to COVID-19. These are all absolute rubbish. There is no scientific base to these kind of comments. So, I'm talking about still reasons why blacks are dying like flies in the more developed countries, compared to their white counterparts. So is mainly socio-economic, but also down to religious beliefs and also general people's attitudes. So I know after this there is going to be inquiries and things are going to be changed, maybe for the better. But the black community has to start organizing themselves and become their own kind of pressure groups. They cannot let people to speak on their behalf. We have to organize ourselves in where we are and confront these policy makers, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you are poor or rich. Once you owe, you pay the tax. So we are been taking for granted for far too long, and that is mainly down to ourselves. And if you go into Africa, also maybe the governments um, have been taking us for granted for far too long. Africans generally have to now take ownership of their own destiny and dictate what their policy makers should do. You look at the state of Gambia, how fragile our medical system is. But when all these money start pouring into COVID-19, look at the number of cars they got already. Could you imagine that? Nobody's traveling, nobody's going anywhere. People are not even going to work. So you have all these government department work. Why the Zambian government cannot go and use those kind of vehicles rather than go and spend all that money on vehicles when our country cannot even test COVID-19? We have to rely on a private research institute to do our test for us. That's not good enough. And you look at the number of tests Gambia has been carrying is paltry. It's not acceptable. It's not up to international standard. By now, Gambia should be testing thousands on daily basis, just like Senegal. Yes, Senegal are far more advanced than us. They are far more resources than us. But with all the money, being poured into these projects, by now we should be testing thousands. And what also worried me about the second to last update from the health ministry was that certain possible contacts are refusing to be tested. This is ridiculous. We have a state of emergency law. What is the point of having state of emergency law when possible contacts are resisting to be tested? In doing so, they are endangering the general public. Apply the law, get them, force them to be tested, so you can save the rest of the nations. When you come to this press conference telling us that there are possible contacts who are refusing to be tested, that's not good enough. If they don't, you have to forcefully arrest them. That's what the emergency is all about. You can give the authority, the health authorities, the president, that extra power that you can use to protect the general populations. So these are issues that is going to make life difficult in the weeks coming in 2 weeks time. Already we've seen the numbers. There is no doubt in now we are right in the middle of pandemic. Places like Guinea Conakry and Mali, I think this is the right time for ECOWAS to come together and try to find a common approach to this pandemic, because we have seen if countries decided to be divided on this, like EU made that mistake earlier. So we should learn example from them. EU initially, if they all come together and fight this virus as EU, the number that we've seen in Italy, Spain, and now in England, we've not seen them. But Africa, what we are doing, we are seeing this, everything is playing right in front of our eyes. But it's like every country is just trying to close their borders, that's their interest, and deal with it internally. But also Africa, or West Africa for that matter, should have a command center by now established. We will be monitoring these numbers. And depending on the capability of different countries, maybe they should be trying to send experts and personnel to try to help them, because Conakry is probably Gambia healthcare system also is far better. I just watched a documentary recently, and I was shocked because I thought Guinea is far, far, far advanced than that. Unfortunately, this is the situation. Why this virus is spreading there in that way? Because these people decided to go to the polls on the 26th of May. For a referendum that will give an 82-year-old mandate to rule for another 12 years. Could you imagine that? And now he endangered not only the lives of the Guineans, but an entire African continent. And again, you go to Mali, your country is not even stable. One of the opposition leaders was kidnapped. Instead of calling off um, the parliamentary election on the 29th March, also they went to the polls. 2 days before they go to the polls on the 29th, on the 26th, they reported their first case. And look at the numbers now. It's Mali 650. And Guinea-Conakry is even worse because at the time of going to the polls on the 26th of March, there was not a single case in Conakry. But now they are leading in that part of the world, 1,579. No, 1,927. So, guys, I come to the end of this program today. Inshallah, tomorrow and Sunday we are off, but we will come back here on Monday. And again, Ben Suare will come, one of the days, and probably when Monday also we are working on this. I'll have the environmentalists again. We will look at one topic about the environment. We'll talk about it. The pandemic is here, but there are a lot of issues also going on in the Gambia that needs highlighting. So my appeal to you once again to please share this video so that your friends and family can come in contact with it and get the message. Thank you all once again for your time. I really appreciate it.
Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Karaba Avenue and Bruceby Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980 8483 340 9400 or 635 9906.